Hey guys, it's Chaos Chrono back with another deck opening. We're on to deck number 7 of our Dark Tidings display. Still hoping for a evil twin deck, so let's see what we got today. No evil twin, but we have a Sanctum, Unfathomable, and Saurian deck. The Furtive Daughter Leader. Cool. Let's get this opened up and see what we got. Alright, starting with Unfathomable, we have Storm Surge. It's an action. Your opponent cannot ready cards during their ready card step on their next turn. Portal is an action, and for one of you play it. If the tide is high, archive Portal, otherwise raise the tide. Photic Raider, 2-power creature with play, capture 2 Ember. While the tide is high, Photic Raider gets +4 power. Maelstrom, it's an action. Put each creature on top of its owner's deck in a random order, gain 2 chains. Horrid Synon, 4-power creature with poison. Frigorific Rod, it's an artifact, and whenever you play it, action, exhaust a creature or artifact. Flamegill Enforcer, 6-power creature. After your opponent raises the tide, enrage Flamegill Enforcer, and action, capture 3 Ember. Call of the Void, it's an action, and for whenever you play it, exhaust a creature. If it was already exhausted, destroy it instead, and its controller loses 1 Ember. Bubbles, 5-power creature with play. Put an enemy creature on top of its owner's deck. Nice. Valacanth, 6-power creature. While the tide is low, Valacanth cannot be used. Fight Reap, exhaust an enemy creature and each of its neighbors. I believe this was the card that showed up in Worlds Collide as an anomaly, so that's pretty cool to see. Sleep with the Fishes, it's an action, and whenever you play it, destroy each exhausted creature. Voice of Rakazel, 5-power creature. While the tide is high, each friendly creature gets +1 power and +1 armor. While the tide is low, each enemy creature gets +1 power and +1 armor. That's the last card. Moving on to Saurians, we have Spoils of Battle. It's an action, and whenever you play it, a friendly creature captures 1 Ember. Each creature with Ember on it captures 1 Ember from its opponent. Reach Advantage. It's an action, and whenever you play it, if the tide is high, a friendly creature captures 3 Ember. Otherwise, raise the tide. Magistra Vita, 5-power creature with play Reap. You may exalt a friendly non-Saurian creature. If you do, reap with it. 2 copies of him. Decadence. Play. Choose 1. Exalt, ready, and use a friendly creature, or move 1 Ember from a creature to another creature. Altruist's Rostrum. It's an artifact. With action, move 1 Ember from a creature to another creature. 2 copies of that. Sorarium. It's an artifact, and whenever you play it, each creature with the lowest power cannot reap. Paraguardian, 6-power creature with 1 armor. Reap, you may exalt Paraguardian. If you do, ward each of its neighbors. I know you didn't. It's an action, and whenever you play it, destroy an enemy creature with Ember on it. 2 copies of that. Sorry about that. It's an action, destroy a creature. Its controller gains 1 Ember. That's it for Saurians. Lastly, we have Sanctum, Staunch Knight. 4-power 2 armor creature. Staunch Knight gets +2 power while on the flank. Survivor, 1-power 5 armor creature with Taunt. 2 copies of Bever. Shifting Battlefield. It's an action, and whenever you play it, move a friendly creature anywhere in your battle line. That creature captures 1 Ember. Cool. Celestial Sargasso, 6-power 2 armor creature. After a player raises the tide, a creature they control captures 2 Ember from their opponent. Theory of the Lake, 3-power creature. While the tide is high, each friendly creature gets +2 armor. 2 copies of him. Cleansing Wave. It's an action. Heal 1 damage from each creature. Gain 1 Ember for each creature healed this way. Honor or Glory. Choose 1. Deal 3 damage to each flank creature, or deal 3 damage to each creature not on the flank. Alms Master, 4 power 1 armor creature with deploy and taunt, and play. Each of Alms Master's neighbors captures 1 amber. 2 copies of him. And I think that's the last card. We have Charge. It's an action, amber whenever you play it. For the remainder of the turn, each creature you play gains play. Deal 2 damage to an enemy creature. Well, that's it for the deck. Let's find out what we have in terms of combos or points of interest for the deck and talk about that. Alright, looking at the main things for this deck. First, with Unfathomable, we have Sleep with the Fishes, which is a big removal card, along with Call of the Void, that is most effective when you're targeting an exhausted creature. The following 2 cards really help supplement that. Frigorific Rod, that can exhaust something every turn or every Unfathomable turn, and Storm Surge, which prevent your opponent from readying things. So in that case, it's a good setup for a subsequent turn with Sleep with the Fishes. However, without any archiving, it won't be as easy to strategically plan out. The other part is Tide and cards that rely on it. The 4 creatures next to Portal all rely on or get affected by the Tide, and Portal being one of the all-important cards in this deck that directly affect Tide without taking the 3 chains. For Saurians, I Know You Didn't, with 2 copies that target creatures that have Amber on them, makes the following cards more useful. The 2 copies of Altruistic's Rostrum, the artifact that moves an Amber from one creature to another, helps set up those 2 I Know You Didn't. Same with Decadence, if you chose to move an Amber instead of exalt a creature and use it. The Madrasa Vita, 2 copies of them, would be nicer if we had more creatures with reap effects. However, outside of House Saurians, there isn't a single creature that has a reap function. So all in all, those won't be as combo-y, but it'll still be useful to generate some Amber. Reach Advantage, just like Portal, is a very important card in terms of affecting the Tide and taking it to your side. Spoils the Battle is a great Amber control. And Sorarium is an important card in that, for the most part, the houses that we have should have the larger creatures compared to things like Shadows, Untamed, and whatnot. So all in all, the houses do suit the Sorarium artifact. However, you can see that there's 2 copies of Sir Bever and the Photic Raider that are definitely classified as smaller creatures. Leery the Lake as a 3 power, probably a little down there as well. Moving into Sanctum, we have 2 copies of Alms Master. Again, plenty of taunt in this deck to help protect creatures. However, we don't have creatures that really have powerful effects so much as them holding onto Amber. There are several with permanent effects, like Leery the Lake, that you want to utilize to protect your board to give everybody more armor. And having 2 copies means you can have 4 additional armor on each of your friendly creatures. It helps with survivability, but without too much warding. Most of it just only really from Paraguardian. A wipe is still going to be a pain in the butt to try to address. Cleansing Wave is always important in terms of a potential burst card. However, with all that armor, it's unlikely that you'll take that much damage on your friendly creatures, so you're kind of expecting to damage your opponent's board and help generate off that. All in all, the generation feels a little lackluster. The Amber control is pretty much all just capture based. A little bit of making the opponent lose some Amber here and there, but not to a significant degree. So it's only going to delay the opponent from getting to their endgame, not really stopping them per se. The board control is pretty impressive here. There is artifact control, though not the removal type. There's definitely cards that help with efficiency, but with the combination of cards in other houses, it's not as strong as you would hope. So overall, just at first glance, looking at this deck, I don't find it to be very strong. Within the set itself, it can be. However, the Amber components to this deck is just too lackluster for me. And in any competitive setting, this deck doesn't feel like it'll have what it takes to face off against a good amount of decks, especially the faster decks. So with that all in mind, I am going to rate this deck at a 58, but let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. As usual, I'll have the decks of Keyforge listing as well, just to compare my own evaluation with them and their algorithm. And that's the end of this video. Hope you guys are enjoying this new format. Again, feel free to leave suggestions, comments, anything below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, be kind and happy boarding.